Hello, hello, hello. I believe I am live. My name is Madison, and I am the marketing coordinator here at the Business Software Center. For today's coffee talk, my camera will be off. I am trying to save the bandwidth for my internet. My internet's running a bit slow today, so I'm just going to go ahead and continue on with our coffee talk series without my camera on today. So in today's coffee talk, we are going to talk about how to manage your SaaS assets, specifically Microsoft 365. As always, you can find me on social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube using the hashtag CoffeeTalkTBSC. And if you ever need to get in contact with me, please feel free to email me at info@businesssoftwarecenter.com. You can see my email right there. And then, of course, our Q&A is open. I am monitoring the Q&A, so please feel free to leave your questions or comments in the right-hand side, and I will be sure to get to them towards the end of my talk. So first and foremost, you're on the cloud, so what's next? I'd like to think that most of us are on the cloud. I know that many of us used on-premise in the past, but the cloud has continuously been rising over the years, and we project it, and we see projections going into the future that the cloud will continue to grow, especially with remote working. So you're on the cloud, so what's next? This is really good news because already with the cloud, it gives you the ability to save on your Microsoft 365. So there's that, but the cloud also gives you easier ways of managing your SaaS assets as well, specifically because you can analyze your product month to month, look at usage, etc., flex your subscribers up and down, whereas on-premise typically requires you to have those contracts that last maybe, 3 to 5 years, and it doesn't really give you much leeway as far as increasing or decreasing your subscriber count. So you're on the cloud, what's next? Well, with our research, we found that 89% of organizations are not fully using their Microsoft 365 applications. So what does that mean? That means only 11% of users are fully utilized, which is fully using the items that they're paying for. So Microsoft 365 obviously has a lot of different apps included with the subscriptions, depending on what your subscription you're paying for is. So say, for instance, you have a subscription that includes your Microsoft Teams. Well, 89% of these organizations might be using their Word document or their Outlook, but they're not using their Teams. So more research found 5% of remote employees are non-compliant. And unfortunately for that, that means you're at risk for having a really bad audit, meaning you might pay more in fines because you are no longer compliant. And what's really nice about the cloud is that you don't have to necessarily worry about your employees being in the office and kind of looking over their shoulder at what they're using. What you can do is see what they're using through web URLs and track their usage that way. So we can certainly help show you how to reduce that 5% number there. Another piece of information we found with our research is 43% of users do not use Teams. So I know I give Teams as an example, but earlier, but I mean, it really is one of those applications that is universal for a lot of issues. And so what this last point means is that perhaps your team feels more comfortable using Skype, and so rather than using Teams, they keep doing their meetings on Skype or Zoom or Google. And so what we help you determine is where your licenses are being used, not used, and then we obviously help increase that usage, whether that's through training or optimizing in other ways. But we can certainly go through that here with how to manage your SaaS as an asset. Okay, so where exactly do you stand? Well, with our research, it shows that most customers are in that red area. So you can see that red area there is definitely less than 50%. Whereas a few customers that we analyze are already in the green. So our goal is to help take anybody who is non-efficient, non-optimized, and bring them up to the green area. And we can do that within a short period of time. But then, of course, managing your assets after we step in and kind of help you out is where you'll be able to optimize your licenses to the fullest and increase your ROI and save money in the long run. So what is TBSC's advice? I'm going to go into the advice here for you. Our number one piece of advice here is create a powerful SAM team. So whenever you have a powerful SAM team, SAM stands for Software Asset Management, that means they understand your business goals. And they can help manage your software, whether that's the downloading, the usage, etc. Your SAM team also is prepared to reduce your risks, reduce your spend, and of course, they need to communicate not only with you, but other departments to see the needs of the staff, etc. And so a common SAM team is made up of an analyst, a manager, a consultant, or even a director. So I would say your first step here in managing your SaaS as an asset is for sure having a powerful SAM team. All right, and we're going to go ahead and move on here to my second piece of advice, which is IT optimization. So I would say your best bet here is to follow Gartner's advice, which I like. They tell you to strategize, which is something you can do with your SAM team. You have to evaluate and investigate your current software situation. Finally, you have to execute, which means you have to plan and act accordingly. And then optimize, which means tracking the costs, particularly those found during the evaluation stage, which means like discovery and inventory of the products that you're using versus not using. The third piece of advice that we have here is SAM management. So of course, you need to review your SaaS usage, and I would say do this regularly. There are tools for automating this, obviously, that really reduce the manual effort, the labor, and anything that can go wrong in the manual process. I would say at least do it once a month. But you also want to track your activities, track your progress over time, and then obviously keep an eye on what you're spending as well to make sure that you are, having the most return on your investment. My fourth piece of advice here is automating your tasks. And so I would say if you need to automate your software asset management, your best bet is to ask yourself these questions. Are there high volume tasks? How many employees does it take to perform the task? Is this task time sensitive, etc.? You can see a whole list here. And typically, if something could be automated, you might as well just automate it because it helps reduce employee stress and increases productivity. So I would say our fourth piece of advice is why not just do it all together with Smarter SaaS? So Smarter SaaS does it all. It can be your SAM manager. It helps measure your usage, identify variances. It helps implement solutions. It offers subscription recycling. We provide training opportunities, and we ensure that you have the right facilities in order to achieve your goals. So I would say with your efficiency health check, this is something new that we're offering. You can certainly sign up for free to get the efficiency health check here, and basically what it does is everything that is listed here. We can get all the user details of your current licensing and see your current usage, and then kind of benchmark where you're at compared to others and help increase you to that hopefully 100% efficiency. Microsoft does suggest at least 95% efficiency. So if you're here to learn how to save money on your Microsoft 365, your best bet is to get on this efficiency health check, especially because you're currently spending money and you might as well fully optimize what you're paying for. So it's the old adage, pay for what you use and use what you pay for. So let me just go ahead and check and see what's going on in our chat section on the right-hand side of the screen. Okay, so I have Ian, and Ian asks, what if I work for a small business and we do not have a SAM team? We do not have, oh, sorry, we do, have a small team, but we also use Microsoft. What can I do? Well, if you don't have a SAM team, that's really not a problem, especially if you're small business. Maybe it's just not a requirement, but I would say certainly get this 30-day free demo that we have of the Efficiency Health Check, our free trial, because we can really show you what's working and what's not working with your software asset management strategy. And that way we can help you save money in the long run. You know, what we find is businesses oftentimes forget to delete or to cancel their subscriptions to employees that kind of left the company, or, you know, freelance employees who are only there for a few months. So they end up paying monthly these subscriptions that they really don't need. So I mean, we can help you analyze and see if you even have that going on. But I can assure you it's a possibility, because even the small companies can overlook their software asset management. So I have another question. It says, where can I download your product? Well, that's a really good question. We are available on Microsoft Marketplace and AppSource. So feel free to find us on Marketplace or AppSource and you can download it, or you can visit us here at businesssoftwarecenter.com. We do have our free trial available on our website. So feel free to sign up that way as well. And then, yeah, I don't see any other questions coming on. So let's go ahead and see exactly where we are. Okay, so our next coffee talk is Going Green with SaaS, and that's going to be on the 2nd of February. And as you can see here on my screen, these are the last of our winter series coffee talks. So get in while you can. Everything is free. Join on Eventbrite or LinkedIn. Once again, you can sign up through our Business Software Center website. So yeah, I hope that this information was informative for you. Once again, it was managing SaaS as an asset, specifically Microsoft 365. And if you need to get in contact with me, feel free to email info@businesssoftwarecenter.com. All right, thank you for joining. Bye-bye.